It's easier than ever. The custom video tired of my lady. New customers. Grow your business.
Like a worn-out recording of a favorite song. So while she lay there sleeping, I read the paper in bed. And in the personal columns, there was this letter I read. If you like pina colada and getting caught in the rain, if you're not into yoga, if you have half a brain, if you like making love at midnight in the dunes of the Cape, then I'm the love that you look for.
Welcome. Oh, I hear echo. That means it's two of me. Hold on. Okay, I think that's better. Welcome, everybody, to Evadyne with Company, Talk Worth Listening To. And I do like Pina Colada. I love that song. We are here today to talk about relationships, and I hope we all talk about them, because guess what? It's the way of the world. I hope everyone is doing well today. Can you hear me okay? Say yes.
Yes.
Thank you very much. How are you today, sir?
Why? Glenn?
Very good.
Glenn with two N's?
Excuse me?
Glenn with two N's?
Glenn with two N's. Welcome, Glenn with two N's, to the talk. We're talking about relationships, and the question was relationships, dating or marrying the ex of a widowed or a friend. So that's a question. How do you feel about everybody's friends? We all grew up together, went to school together, hang out together. Two people are dating, they break up, no violence, no issues, just different directions that they see their futures going in, but everybody's friends. Do you feel it's okay to date one of those people in your friend group?
Say that again.
So you're all friends, grew up together, hanging out together, everything's good. Two people in the group date, they break up, no violence, no issues, just different directions for the future. Do you feel it's okay for someone else in the group to date them? So to make the silence silver and not golden, I say yes. I say whether it's friends or even widowed. Sometimes we're in a friends group and one of the mates passed. I think it's okay because we're all friends. We all have things in common. And sometimes people get together too soon and it's not the right person. Not to say, everything worked out well, but that wasn't that connection, if any, that was supposed to happen in that group. So, you're not jumping from the relationship to another relationship. You're not wishing and hoping that they break up so y'all could get together. It's just, a process that happens along that way that one day the two of you decide, you know what, we kind of get along and things are good. Why don't we, see how this thing would work out? That's how I see it. And when it comes to someone who's widowed, yes, they're no longer here, but it's really still a matter of being with people, someone that knows you, that cares about you, that you have things in common with. And it's not mandatory that it has to be somebody fresh and new that you go on a dating site to find or that you just perchance find. It's someone that, you're cool with already. You know what I mean? What do you think? Any thoughts?
It's kind of rough because if you still have feelings for a person, you wouldn't want your friend to, date that person that you just finished being with.
Why?
Excuse me. Well, because you still have feelings for the individual. Like, for instance, with me, I was in love with someone. And we were broke up 2 weeks. It was my decision. Felt like it wasn't healthy. But a friend of mine went and picked her up. And I just felt like that wasn't a good idea. I mean, I still had feelings for her. But she wasn't, it was a toxic relationship. So for my friend to now be with her, I just had a hard time with that.
So hear what you said. You were with someone, you broke up after how long?
I was with her for 6 years.
And your relationship became toxic?
Yeah, it was toxic.
Okay,
To
hold
the
on.
point where I had to break it off.
Okay, so you were in a relationship that was good at one point, then it became toxic, and so you ended the relationship because it was toxic, meaning not healthy for you
Right.
or the other person. So here's a weird question. Could the toxicity have been because you weren't meant to continue, but still holding on without any details? Because toxic isn't good, and the fact that you say you still had feelings for them, well, this example that I'm giving is an example of no negativity involved. You just realize that your directions have changed. So if you're looking for long term and your directions have changed, like this person decides they want to live in the East, this one decides they want to live in the West, one they knew they didn't want children or they did want children or however it goes, then they say, you know what, we're not going into a future, so let's just go back to being friends. That's the example I'm giving. Because
Okay.
I can't imagine that coming out of a toxic relationship that there is a platform for a harmonious friendship. And I find that when people stay in too long, because you get signs when you stay in too long is when the toxicity starts coming in. So and it's just a matter of personalities. I think if personalities blend, toxicity will not. Like oil and vinegar, right? It's like oil and water, I should say. Vinegar kind of blends with anything now, but like oil and water, they can exist in the same bottle, but they never really blend. But you can pour it on a salad and love it, you know. Um, and then when it comes to a relationship where one of the mates pass, you actually have people who are, when they know that they're sick and not going to last very long, they actually start picking and asking for common people in their friendship circle to be with their mate, which is very interesting. Um, I don't think about this on a sexual level, not to say that if you're in a relationship, sex is not going to happen, but I'm thinking about it on a compatibility level, on a human level. And again, I'm speaking about a harmonious decision to break up or separate from that relationship, or again, if a mate passes. Because if you okay, let me say this. It's not for the convenience of, well, why should I go out there and find somebody else when I already have this circle? No, that's like, collateral damage, But what would be the value of, if you wanted to be in a relationship going on a dating site, what would be the value in that if in your circle you have people that you would be looking on a dating site for, people who are compatible, people who you enjoy, people who you want to get to know, like that. That's what I'm thinking. What are you thinking?
Mm.
Am I making a little sense, though?
Yeah. My situation was a little bit different because this was my so-called best friend, and I was still in love with the woman, but I had to make a decision.
I understand, but that's a bit different, and That's a bit different. But you made a decision for the greater good of the situation. And it's not always that the person is hoping and wishing that you break up or anything like that. It's just something that happens. Or maybe they are. I mean, that's a different kind of friend. Or like I said, if the relationship is toxic, part of the toxicity is really an incompatibility that presented itself, but nobody wanted to recognize it officially. They didn't want to do the right thing early. And that happens in relationships a lot. I have on my YouTube, which you can visit, like ssr.com, how to have a happy relationship and how to have a happy divorce. And literally in those presentations, they're very similar in content. And I feel the key to it is being you, being the best you, being happy, bringing happy to the table, and not looking for someone to make you happy. So if you go into your relationship like that, then it's very easy to stay stable in your relationship, to stay stable through the relationship, and to be stable if coming out of the relationship happens to happen. But one of the things we definitely have to do is identify and recognize and act when we get signs that this isn't quite what I thought it would be, for whatever the reason. And to stop fighting against nature. We get the signs, we get the signals, we hear a lot of what people are telling us early on, but we ignore it, or we feel like we can change people. And so those are not good ingredients for a harmonious and happy relationship. So we are on Grown Folk Talk and Express Yourself, Progressive Podcast Network. This is our Monday show, 4 p.m. to 6 p.m. Eastern Standard Time. And just for the record, you could visit Grown Folk Talking, Express Yourself on YouTube. You'll know you're at the right place when you see the hot mic. And again, like, share, subscribe, and ring the bell. You can go to my website, networkingforsuccess.info. You can click on podcasts. You can click on travel. You can click on my books. It's all about life and being happy and fulfilled and excited and all that other wonderful stuff. Every morning on this network, and if you're watching it on YouTube, you can dial into 520-525-8633, and you can listen to the entire show lineup. We have very interesting shows. We have a new show coming up March 7th at 5 p.m., hosted by Michael Tyson, not the Mike Tyson, but one who is strong in knowledge on health and wellness. He's a raw food chef, and his show is going to be about starting a health group, a health club. You know how people have book clubs and they come together, read the book, and talk about it? Getting people to start book clubs about health or health clubs about books. There's a lot of great recipe books out there for people who want to move into eating, either eating raw or just eating healthier. And so his show is coming on March 7th at 5 p.m. I believe that's a Thursday at 5 p.m. Again, every morning at 7 a.m. we have a prayer line. On Tuesdays at 6 p.m. we have Grace Space with Jada, Karen, and Deborah. And at 7:30 p.m. we have the Pink Sofa Talk with Carol Lucille. First and third Tuesdays is ladies only. And of course that means the other Tuesdays, everybody's welcome to come. It's It's a great day. Today's the last Monday of February in the year 2024, and we are really moving forward. Like, we thought when Prince came out with 1999 that was so far ahead of us, like 1999, oh my gosh. But here we are in 2024, and we're still here. So today we're talking about relationships, and we're talking about intimate relationships pretty much. But I also like to just bring in a little bit where I hear people speak about children shouldn't be their parents' friends, or parents shouldn't be their children's friends. And I always ask, what qualities in a friendship should not be present in a parent-child relationship? That's right. None. The qualities of a good friendship are honesty, integrity, love, compassion, right? Compatibility, and just honestly and earnestly caring about the individual. And those elements should be present in a parent-child relationship. So we say things kind of, I'm going to say frivolously, if that came out right. And it's usually in context to bringing an order to a situation, letting the parent be the authority in a relationship. But you can be the authority and still be a friend. You can be friends with your boss. Your boss is the authority. You could be friends with the president. The authority is a separate position from the qualities of human relations, meaning the friendship. It doesn't mean that you're going out, hanging out, getting high, wearing the same clothes. It doesn't mean that. So we blanketly say things without defining them a bit more. But it is, in my opinion, that children and parents should be best friends. Parents should be the ones to introduce children to their children, especially, to socializing. I know I attend different cultural events, and usually the children are present. You go to a Greek event, the children are there. Italian, the children are there. It's a lot of Americans who will then change the dynamics of who goes out where and how, because they'll go out and the children are home. So we're not teaching our children how to socialize. And I'm not saying, again, not at a club, but in a social environment, teaching them how you can have an enjoyable time, and everybody doesn't have to be falling all over everybody. And there doesn't have to be derogatory behavior. People don't have to be drunk. And you're not going to look for a mate. But when we leave it up to their peers to teach them this, and then we look back on it and want to discipline for the behaviors that some are taking, but we ourselves didn't guide them into how to socialize. I don't know. It looks like something's missing in the mirror. Any comments? Okay. So I played the Pina Colada song when we first started. I'm not sure if you all heard it, but it's by Rupert Holmes. I call it the Pina Colada song, but the song is titled Escape. Familiar with it?
No.
Okay. If you like pina colada, getting caught in the rain. You know that song?
Yeah, I do.
Yeah, I know. Do you know what that song is about?
No, I never really listened to the words.
But you kind of bop to it, right?
I don't think I did. I
Okay.
think when that
So,
song came out, I was more into jazz.
oh, okay. Well, I still listen to it, and what I love about the song is the rhythm and the words. And though I've been singing the song since the '70s, I just came to realize a year and a half ago what the song is actually about. So there's different verses, and the verses are, do you like pina colada? The second verse is, I like pina colada. The third verse is, I didn't know you like pina colada. So in the beginning, he's reading, he's in a relationship, but the relationship has kind of flatlined. So he's home, she's home, but they're in their own worlds. So he's reading the classifieds, and he sees this ad. And the ad says, if you like pina colada, getting caught in the rain, walking in the sand, all that other wonderful stuff. And then he responds, I like pina colada, getting caught in the rain. So then they decide they're going to meet. And they meet at a club. So each verse is leading toward them meeting. And when he's at the location to meet, because they're planning their escape, that's the name of the song, right? When he's waiting for her to come in, who walks through the door but his lady? It was she who placed the ad. Him who responded, and then he laughed and says, I didn't know you like pina colada, getting caught in the rain, and all the rest of what the verse says. Because people sometimes stop communicating effectively in their relationship. They stop, and when I say effectively, continuing the growth process together, revisiting your plans, revisiting your goals. Because when we're in relationships, we're continuing to develop. We don't stop developing because we are in a relationship or because we get married. We don't. Some people do, and if it works for them, fine. But if you stop growing in your relationship, then not in your relationship, but once you get into a relationship, if you personally stop growing, that might not be the greatest thing. I'll say it like that. It might not be the greatest thing, because then you could become very stagnant. And if the other person is growing, then it can become toxic a little bit. But you always want to keep communication 100% open so that everybody's on the same page. I say treat a relationship like business. You have your business plan, you come back and you revisit it in a year, revisit it in 3 years, revisit it in 5 years, and you're revisiting and revising because you're developing, because new things have come into your lives, new ideas, new plans, and you're talking about it along the way, but still, it's just like a business. It's not set in stone just to root downward, because it really continues to grow upward. What do you think? Okay. I'm just checking in. I I am not an expert on relationships. I just pay very close attention to what goes on around me, and I see a lot of things. And um, sometimes my opinion is asked for, and sometimes it isn't, and sometimes I give it anyway. And sometimes it's valuable. It becomes the aha moment, again, because it's all about communication. It's all about communication. So, what do we think now? Are relationships something, I guess, like parenting? that comes with a rule book that should be followed step by step by step for everyone? Or should there be some flexibility based on the individuals? Go ahead.
Am I the only one on?
No, you're not. Do you feel like I'm only waiting for you?
No, I'm waiting for somebody else.
Well, sometimes people like listening. They don't like speaking or adding to the conversation. They just listen in. Sometimes they're at work or engaged in other things, but they'll listen in. And then if they have something to say, they'll come in. But it's, I just feel like, and you don't have to feel obligated to speak. I just take a pause just in case, because I don't want to run on like an Amtrak and, not give people a chance to speak. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
Very good. So if you all are interested, Sister Sophia she's starting her Black Love podcast. She came on last week and she spoke about it a little bit, and the website is up now for her. It is, what is it? tinyurl, tinyurl.com / Phoenix Experience. Phoenix Experience. And accordingly, you go to that website, you register, you can upload your video. And she says she's not matchmaking. She's not doing the matchmaking. She's letting those who are looking matchmake themselves. So you upload a video, you talk about you, who you are, what you like, what you're looking for, and then you can view other people's videos as they tell their stories, and then you can link up if your stories seem to sync. And the good thing about that is people should be honest with themselves and about themselves if they are honestly looking for their mate. And so this is her pre-launch. She's going to host a podcast, but this is her pre-launch. So it's $40 is the pre-launch registration. After the official launch, it's $80 to join. And we'll see how it goes. So that's it's Phoenix Experience. Again, the website is tinyurl.com /PHOENIX Experience. So I just share that because I know some people are looking for somebody. Somebody. I mean, not even somebody, the right body, those who are looking. So today we're talking about relationships, and we're talking about, I guess to summarize that part is it okay to date an ex's ex if the exes are all part of your friends group? Everybody knows each other. Everybody's familiar with each other. They like each other. They have commonalities. They get along. And or a group similarly that now someone has become widowed. Should you date and or marry a friend's mate? That's what we're talking about. And any other part of relationships. But yeah, I was talking about it last week, and I said I'm going to bring that to the floor. I'm going to bring it kind of to the table to see what people and how people feel. I don't want my stories to be one-sided. And I'm always open to listen. Any comments?
I've listened to much of this guy named Kevin Samuels. A lot of people love him, and a lot of people don't like him. But from a man's perspective, I see where 90 to 95% of the things that he says is true. It's true and accurate. And if a person were to take it to heart, they can possibly have a healthier relationship with one of the opposite sex. He says things really kind of rough, but you have to have a thick skin while listening to him. And the man was on the money. He's passed away now, but when he was alive, he was on the money on this podcast. And I think a lot of people learned something from him. And I think that a lot of women, they would need to listen to much of his podcast to understand how to relate and deal with the black man. I was very skeptical about bringing his name up because for those who are for those who are familiar with him, a lot of times they would disagree with me. It's almost like bringing up Trump. But that's another conversation. But I think that if a person were to listen to his content, they would learn something more about their race of people, their what's the word I'm looking for? I think everybody has a role. The male has a role, the female has a role. And I think that our race of people just don't really have it together when it comes to that.
Okay, so I didn't listen to, you introduced me to him actually, and I didn't listen to, of course, many of his videos, and I heard some of his positioning on, I'll say, women who are looking but are not worthy of being seen. I like that. He didn't say it that way, but women who are looking but are not worthy of being seen. In respect to, as you kind of mentioned, women not knowing their position, not knowing who they are and how to receive a good man. Does that make sense with the way I'm saying it?
A little.
Say it again.
It makes a little sense.
Okay. I don't know if it's true. I'm just saying his perspective on that. And to that, and the few things that I listened to once you shared him with me, I always say we're not cookie cutter. We're not cookie cutter. When it comes to roles, example, so one would say that a woman's role in the home is to take care of the children and to take care of the home. I would say, depending on the relationship, if the woman is the professional and she's making the higher income and the two have agreed that she would be the breadwinner, the stronger breadwinner, and the husband, the daddy, because we're talking about children in this case too, the daddy, which is an equal 50-50% role when it comes to children and raising children, the daddy would have his job and he would take on the responsibility of the aftercare of the children, let's say they're school age, and maintaining the home equally, then that's their relationship. And it's a happy one in some cases. There are some women who don't know how to cook. So God forbid you leave the kitchen to her. There's some men who don't know what to do with a screwdriver. So God forbid you send him to the fuse box or to the wall outlet. I don't see it as roles. I see it as partnerships and relationships. And everybody understanding not their part, but their strength. Because we're not all cookie cutter. It's not like you can put women in a row and know that whole row of women have the same character, have the same skill set, have the same ideology, nor can you do the same with a group of men. You can't. You can have a group sexually separated. You can have a group of women who know nothing about sewing. And you can have a group of men who know nothing about sports. But in the other room, that group of men, it's all about sports. We're not cookie cutter. We're individuals, and sometimes that cookie cutter mentality is what ends relationships when those things are not discussed early on in the relationship. In the friendship, in the meeting, really, there should be a question. Hey, can you please fill this out? Maybe I'm going to make a note. Hold on. Maybe I should create an intro app, like a business card, but an app, and you answer certain questions. Like when I was at the party, and a nice young man, pretty tall, standing over me because I'm not as tall, and he's holding his dark liquor drink in his hand, and he's talking. I can't really hear what he had to say because the music is playing, but he's talking and talking, and I'm thinking, So when he finished talking, I said, I have a question. He said, yeah. I said, are you managing your diabetes? He continued looking down on me. He was like, what? I said, are you managing your diabetes? He said, yeah, but why are you so serious? I said, because you're chatting with me like you like to get to know me. And what I'd like to know is, are you looking for a companion or a caregiver? So are you managing your diabetes? And I must say the party continued. He thought that was a serious question, but guess what? As serious as the question is as serious as you should take your time. You should value your time and your energy on that same level of seriousness. So I need to know what you're looking for. A companion or a caregiver. Now, I do know, I don't want everybody to jump on me. Your companion could be your caregiver. Yeah, I understand that. But if you're out there killing yourself in any way, and you're looking for somebody to make sure that when you do kill yourself, they'll be there to pick you up, then say that. But don't be coming on like it's going to be all romantic and floozy-woozy. We're going to be traveling, dancing, and, no, because you're on your way down, quite possibly. Actually, I haven't seen him since, come to think of. But we don't really party in the same circles, so I wouldn't see him. But, of course, I do hope he's okay. But I'm just saying, we're not cookie cutter. We don't all come from a mold, even though some may think that on a faith-based level. But, again, there's so many variables. I always say we're electrical beings with flesh and features, and we don't get to pick and choose those things before arriving. So when we arrive and when we're developed and with our exposures, we become who we are going to become. So you have a woman, and she can know her role as being a female, but it doesn't mean she wants to be barefoot and pregnant. And I truly hate when I see like at the supermarket where the woman is leaning toward the man to carry all the heavy bags, like it's the man's job to carry the bags. Like, help out. He's carrying the heavy bags. He break his back. Oh, there's that caregiver situation again. No, everybody work together. If you know how to cook, if we both know how to cook, we're in this together. It's a partnership. Whether there are children in the home or not, the relationship is a partnership, a 50-50, not a 60-40, but a 50-50. Whatever it is that you bring, that's your 50, whatever it is. And again, if I have a weakness and you have a strength in that area, then that's where we come in again together to build our relationship. To build our relationship. But the roles, I don't know about that. I mean, I know where the concept comes from, but personally, I say identify your people and converse with your people and understand your people as they should understand you. And then you'll know how that boat is going to float. No, I wasn't trying to, but it was easy. Any comments? Okay. Oh, go ahead.
I'm holding my thoughts.
No, well.
Doing what my mother told me to do. Glenn.
What was that? If you don't have something good to say, don't say anything? No.
She said, think before you speak.
Okay. I appreciate that, for real. To that I say, think before you speak, because once it's said, it cannot be taken back.
Yeah.
That's a good thing. But as we're talking about this, it's so important to realize how our young people are being guided in that relationship path. What they are seeing and learning as a way to handle themselves, how to enter relationships. Some people go into relationships looking for people to complete them, or looking for people to make them happy, or looking for financial security. But to all of those things, okay, that could work for some people. I'll say that. That could work. Fine. But it depends on how you define a relationship and what you're really looking to get out of it. But a lot of that, too, can go to how and who raised you and what you experienced in relationships. I am familiar with people who were seeking people for financial stability. And there's a mindset behind that. People who are looking for people to take care of them financially. I even consider that when, and I guess maybe it would have to be anonymous, a survey, but you'll see in our society it appeared okay when older men were connecting with younger women. But when you have older women connecting with younger men, then they were labeled entitled. But it seemed to be okay if a man had a younger wife, almost expected, really. I mean, like just across the board, there was an understanding that the husband or the male would be the older one. But sometimes I think the older ones are looking for the older men are looking for younger women, again, because one, it makes them feel young. It makes them appear, it's so weird, watch this, it makes them appear kind of marketable. I think there's another word I should be using. But if they feel like if they have a younger woman on their arm, that makes them look attractive, right? But who are you trying to look attractive to if you already have a woman? That's just my thought. I mean, that was just spinning around in my head. But sometimes I think they're getting the younger women also because they want to be, if all things work out well, they know they're going to be older sooner than the woman, and that, again, she'll be there to take care of them. Okay, if that's agreed upon in advance, but if that's the mindset and there's no real feelings in that relationship, then that's not good. Well, it might work, don't get me wrong, it might work for them, but I would say unless, anything you agree to is okay. I think that's fair to say. Anything you agree to, that's fair. But if it is done in a underhanded way, an ulterior motive kind of way, then that's not good. And then it can become toxic along the way. It can really put a strain on a relationship. And that goes back to a little bit of expectations. People expect certain things and people don't agree to them, but they feel like because I've done this and I've done that, you should do this and you should do that. But if it wasn't agreed upon in advance, then that expectation and that disappointment and everything that comes from that is really the other person's fault for assuming that these things were going to happen that didn't happen. Any questions or comments? Any questions? What question could one possibly? But no, you could have a question. Any questions or comments? All right. Okay. So we are talking about relationships, and obviously, me bringing the topic today, I, again, believe it is okay to date within a friend circle, all things being well, and the end of that relationship not being abusive. That person shouldn't even be anybody's friend if they abuse anybody, really, he or she. But again, nope, let me change that. If we're all friends and two of us link up and we're in a relationship now and it becomes abusive, honestly, that friend circle need to become a group therapy. Like, what happened? Like, why did that happen? Not to keep them together necessarily, but just to understand that, like, what came into this mix that changed the dynamic of everybody being okay, because you were all friends first. That's just my thinking and my thoughts. So once again, we are on Grown Folk Talk and Express Yourself Progressive Podcast Network. Call into 520-525-8633 to get the entire show lineup. We have a lot of shows here. I was speaking to someone today, and they were speaking about their level of oral communication, verbal communication, not being what they want it to be, not being what it used to be, and it's because they find that they're not communicating a lot anymore. They have found themselves at a loss for words. So I recommended them coming onto the podcast during their commuting time, driving back and forth to work, to listen in and join in to the conversations, because again, there are such a variety of conversations here that, and the reason is they don't have a lot of time with work and school and family, but sometimes our time is not turning on the news, especially if we need to create a new discipline, and that discipline being verbalizing your thoughts and hearing other people and engaging more. So that was my suggestion. You think that was a good suggestion? Anyone? Not just for our podcast network in general. Go ahead.
Good suggestion. Good suggestion.
Thank you. Thank you. Thank you, Marcus. How are you?
I'm good. Good. Had an active day today, still in the midst of it. But I'm here, nevertheless. Take some time out of my schedule to have some more meaningful interaction. So thank you for the podcast today.
You're welcome. Thank you. And please tell us about Adrian's show that you co-host and your topic and your goal, if you have time for that.
Sure, not a problem. Well, Adrian's podcast happens every Friday here on the network, Grown Folks Talking. It starts at 6 p.m. and it's called Can We Talk with Adrian? However, every third Friday of every month, I co-host with her, and I have the time to bring topics that I believe are valuable for knowledge sake and for people to be able to move forward. So what I definitely talk about is basically a knowledge base. It's more of a shifting of paradigms, which is shifting in the way you think about things, the way you view things, the way you look at things, to have a different perspective, to come at a situation from another viewpoint, to have options to deal with it, rather than in the conventional way that we may have all been conditioned to deal with things. And I deal with options, which some people can call solutions. They can be one and the same. And I talk about such things as community, neighborhood, associations with neighbors, where the power in the community is actually located, according to our founding documents, and how to use that power effectively to get the things that we need to have, that are necessary and proper for us to have, and to also get those things that we want and desire for our future generations. And there's a other broad spectrum of topics that are talked about. And I'm in the midst of forming the organization, well, completing it. It's formed, but it's on the way to completion now, to offer an interactive platform so that people can find different resources and even take advantage of some services that will be offered. And some of those things might be support. Some of those things may be education. Some of those things may be how-to. Some of those things will definitely be entrepreneurships, how to go into business for yourself, how to build businesses. And I give a lot of credit to Evadyne, because she has definitely stepped out in that area and has taken the lead and pretty much taken the bull by the horn. And basically has shown how that can be done and how one can be successful with that. So the offering of the website will be something that everybody can benefit from. Also join as members or be non-members, whichever you like, and show how to do things in your neighborhood and community, how to work alongside of rather than against, to see better outcome and a more desired outcome, and then how to duplicate this in other places as well. So that's every Friday. Can we talk with Adrian? And my Friday is the third Friday of every month. The podcast starts at 6 p.m., and I hope to hear you there. Thank you very much. I appreciate the time, Friday.
Thank you, Marcus. And you have something that you're planning for July, the trip to the farm. Do you want to talk about that and the value in it?
Oh, yes. Oh, okay. That completely slipped my mind, but thank you. Yes. For the organization's sake and for neighborhood's sake, and coming together in practice and an application, I thought it would be a good idea to have a trip, a field trip, if you will, and that field trip would be to a farm that is in central New Jersey. It's around the Trenton area, and it's a U-pick farm. So they grow all kinds of vegetables and produce, everything that you can pretty much think of. And there are acres and acres and acres of nothing but farmland there with fresh, organic, grown food. No pesticides, no chemical pesticides, no chemical fertilizers, and everything is organically grown and organically treated, which is something I like. And what I'm doing is I'm reaching out to not certain areas. I'm reaching out to everybody, but we plan to try to make this a trip where we have different transportation from different locations, buses that will leave from different locations depending on the response. And all of those buses will simultaneously head to the same location, which will be that farm. And everyone is welcome. Those within my community, which is the blind and visually impaired community, those who are not, blind or visually impaired, those who are young, basically youth, those who are seniors or elders, and just generally anyone who would like to attend and take this trip down to the farm where you can pick and you bring it home and you do what you do with it. So instead of having to go to the market, pay all those costs, you really kind of don't know what you're getting, you go straight to source and you learn how things are grown, because it's a lost art that I guess has not been pushed forward the way that it was back in our days when we were coming up back in the 60s, 70s, part of the 80s. And we can definitely take advantage of that. Go and learn, go and pick, go and see how other things are processed, such as farm milk, butter, cream, yogurts, how a greenhouse actually works, because at these farms they actually have greenhouses, so they can provide things year-round. And the cost of what you get there is way lower than what we have to pay at this point when we go to a store for convenience. So yeah, you get a little bit of sand in your shoes, a little bit of sand on your hands, but the experience to actually be there and to learn about where the nutrition comes from, how it grows, and how to know what is right, what is good, what is there to pick, what you eat at certain times, and learning all about these different nutritional vegetables and fruits that are there, I think is priceless. And it will be a day where we get up early, We head out to the different locations. We all meet at the same location, and they do, of course, take cash. They take debit card, credit card. They take EBT cards, all of these forms of payment. I believe they also take Google and Apple Pay, but I have to be sure about that. So contact them, and as long as we, want to go down there and we want to pay, they have acres and acres of land, so we won't have a problem having access to green, nutritious food that is organically grown. And that will be basically a community type of thing, just to show an example of what this organization is about and what we're doing. So this is just one community outreach event. But there will be many, many more to come. And we also, once these events take place, would like to get feedback from the people who attend and what else they would like to see, what their experience was, what they got out of it, so that we can plan others and continue to move forward. So that's for this coming July. The date is not set yet in stone, but very soon we will be taking, we will be accepting the payments for those who wish to go and reserve their seats on the transports that will be taking us there. So we'll be doing that. We'll be announcing it, and I certainly look forward to a great response and to a great time for all of us to have as we go.
Thank you. And I don't know if I missed it, but is there a contact number that they could reach you at or email?
Well, I can give an email contact at this point. I'm also setting up the phone contact for the organization. But anyone who wants to contact me regarding these events and get in touch with us via email at this point, I'll give it out. It's groovology360@gmail.com. And let me spell that out. GROO, B as in violin, O, L as in Lima, O, G as in giraffe, Y as in yellow. That's Groovology. The numbers 360 or 360 at gmail.com.
Thank you very much. Thank you. And I know that's going to be interesting. And I'm going to have a bus leaving from Brooklyn as well, as I mentioned. I put the word out there, and I'm getting great response. So that's a good thing. Thank you, Marcus. And I know that Grown Folk Talking, we have a health expo in August. I believe it's the second Saturday in August. And that's going to be in Newark, New Jersey, an all-day event. Boy, I hope it's the second Saturday. An all-day event, and it's free. You may donate to keep the cause causing, but it's free. We'll have vendors and food, I believe. Might be for sale, but a lot of wellness workshops, different things like that. Really great. Also, I became a member of the Powerful Pioneers. The last Saturday of the month, they host a wellness event at the Cosmin Temple in Brooklyn, right across from Medgar Evers. There may not be one this next month, March, so the next one will probably be in April. There's a lot of traveling going on. But the Positive Pioneers, they travel across the country and open up wellness stations, teaching and healing and just being a part of the process of success and education. I'm looking forward to it. It made only sense to me to join Powerful Pioneers in their network because my business, Networking for Success, it actually allows it to grow by connecting to another powerful network. So it's all about positivity and growth and experience and education and knowledge. Thank you. Forrest, did you want to say something? Forrest? I know, you're on and off mute at the same time.
Hold on, man, sis. Hold on. Yeah, I was having a meeting with this brother that because we got 3 new shows coming up in March. So I was dialoguing while I was listening to you on the other phone. What were you asking me, sis, again? I heard you say Forrest. I'm sorry.
Yes, if you can confirm the Grown Folk Talking August event, and if you want to tell us about the shows that are coming up, that'd be great too.
Okay, yeah. August the 10th is from 12 to 6, and the way it looks, I'm going to have to extend it another hour from 12 to 7. And it'll be at the Salvation Army Gymnasium on South 19th Street here in North New Jersey. They renovated it. It holds like about 400 people. So we'll have speakers and also Sister Evadyne, if you'd like to get your picture on the fly of everybody's picture but yours. So if you like to have your picture along with your description underneath your picture, your description of what you like, the name of your show, whatever you like your label to be, then I can put it on the flyer, because the flyer goes in this Thursday, and it'll be ready the end of next week, because we're going to start promoting this in the month of March. All right, and as far as the new shows, there's a place over here, Brother Kai, with African Echoes. It's a community base, and he brings in a lot of wonderful people. In fact, he had Lloyd Strahan on. I went to see Lloyd last Sunday, the numerologist, and it was wonderful to listen to the brother. He read everybody's date of birth, and everybody was gasping in the place because he was on point. And he said, look, I'm not trying to be braggadocious, but he said, I'm the best numerologist in the world. He said he went to see Minister Farrakhan. He said Minister Farrakhan told him he had the supreme mathematics. So the brother is on YouTube, and everybody knows, or if you don't know, you should check Lloyd Strahan out. He's coming back in August, but not my date. So African Echoes is supposed to start next Monday, because our dear brother, he has to take time off, slot time. We always have a place for Brother Starr. And the other show is, Michael Tyson. He'll be coming on with these are bi-weekly shows, by the way, family. Brother Michael Tyson will be coming in with the Raw Vegan Chef and a health club. All right? I'm looking forward to that. And then Sister Gwen DeBrow, who had on my show last Saturday, Free the Land, she'll be on. I went to an event Saturday, and Momia Abu Jamal, I went to a church on 125th Street in Harlem, and Momia Abu Jamal, when they're trying to get out of jail, his attorney was there. Pam Africa wasn't there, but her husband was there, and she talked via closed circuit to the audience. And we had a brother, the name of the organization is called RAP. I spoke to him. He'll be coming on at a future date on one of my shows. People that get out of have done considerable time incarcerated. They have to release them. He's saying after they've done considerable time, release the people. Like Momir, he's done 42 years, and this brother did 38 years. So he has a program since he's been out, and he works with. He's pushing for a law, all right, in the state of New York, because that's where he's from, where it can release people who are considered seniors and have done considerable time, because they're rotting in jail. And it was a pleasure to hear Momir's voice. And they had a wonderful speaker. They had the Sister Rivera. She was there from WBAI, So I touched elbows with some of the people, got numbers, and I'll be bringing them on my shows, But Pam Africa, she's still a fireball. Oh, wow, this sister still got that fire in her, man, because she said MF a couple of times. And people gasped. And the church had a nice crowd. It was like 100. They took a head count. They said it was like 150-some people that were there. And they wanted to thank everybody for coming out. And, of course, I made my donation toward the Momir Foundation, I threw $30 in the kitty, for the brother. And I had to go over there and support. So Gwen DeBrow will be coming on the second and fourth week. Like we have, shows that go bi-weekly with Sister Sharon and Sister Nabir, where we have a Thursday show starts at 5 p.m. So the 7th, Brother Michael Tyson will start, and the 14th, Sister Gwen DeBrow will start with her show. So peace and blessings to all the listeners out there, and thank you for this time, Sister Evadyne. Appreciate you.
Thank you. So this was good timing for you to be able to come in and share that information with us. Again, this is Grown Folk Talk and Express Yourself. You can call into 520-525-8633. Get the show lineup. The new shows you're not going to hear on there yet, but they should be coming on board sometime in March. You can go to the YouTube channel, Grown Folk Talk and Express Yourself. You'll know you're on the right channel when you see the hot mic. It's hot. That's right. And you can visit my YouTube at likessr.com. Likessr.com. I just thought to shorten it a bit, but it really stands for like, share, subscribe, and ring the bell. So whenever you're on anyone's YouTube, do that. Be so kind as to like, share, subscribe, and ring the bell. I'm Evadyne. This is Evadyne with Company. Today we talked about relationships, and it was really focused on, is it okay to date the ex of a friend if you all are friends, and or a widowed friend of a friend? Is it okay to date? I say yes. Of course, as long as the breakup wasn't a violent breakup, no one was violated in the breakup and you all are friends, absolutely, that's my opinion. And of course, to date and or marry a widowed friend of a friend, all friends again, why not? Why should you have to go out there seek and search when there's someone in your circle? Someone had mentioned before that one could get labeled as if they're running through the group, but I don't know who would be running. Is it the man or the woman? Back to that again, all right, that Eve story. But in my opinion, it is all okay. They say all is fair in love and war, but love is more important. And it's about choices and being respectful and not telling any bedroom secrets. That was a joke. Oops. Sorry, I was going to resist, but then I couldn't resist. So I am going to, if there's no more questions or comments, I really appreciate everyone coming on. I am going to close out. Again, tomorrow morning, 7 a.m., the prayer line, 6 p.m., this is Tuesdays, 6 p.m., Grace Space with Deborah, Jada, and Karen, hosted by Jada currently. 7:30 p.m., the Pink Sofa Talk. The first and third Tuesdays are ladies only. The other Tuesdays, it's open to everyone. And share us. Please visit my website, networkingforsuccess.info, and walk through my door. There's no occupancy requirement, no mask requirement, no requirement. Just walk through. I will ask that you let me know you came so you can fill out the contact form. My doors are always open. You can reach me at 347-457-2769. 24/7, you can call in to 347-649-7455. 7741. Leave your questions, your comments, your concerns, your show topic ideas. And if you're interested in having your own podcast, let us know that as well. And I'm going to say, if there's nothing else from anyone else, I am going to say ciao. Is there anything else from anyone else? Then okay, I will say, not meow. I will say ciao. Have a great day, everyone.
That was
Yeah, meow.